Okay, everyone have that? Just leave it on your desk. I'm going to come collect that at the end of the period. Okay. In the meantime, we're going to continue our new vocabulary and phrases for engaging and identifying things in the classroom, right? And then, right, on your own or with a partner, you're going to do some textbook work where you can apply those phrases. I can get this to work first. Okay, so let's continue our notes that we had started on Tuesday. And remember, on your quiz and on that image matching that you're supposed to do by this morning, and hopefully you did that, the chapter 1 image matching, okay, you had some of these images and you had to match it to a specific French term. All right, so remember, right, teacher, professeur, right, un professeur. And remember, if it's a female teacher, right, you need to make sure you use the female article, une. Okay, you should know that already. Right? Un professeur, female teacher, une professeur, or une prof. Right? Computer, ordinateur. That was one of the questions on your quiz. Right? Computer, un ordinateur. Right? It's masculine. DVD or CD. Un lecteur de DVD or un lecteur de CD, right? A CD player or a DVD player. Then we have a male teacher, right? Same thing as this one, just with a masculine article. And remember, poster, right? It's the same for poster. There is an old-fashioned name for it, right? Une affiche, but no one really uses that anymore, right? But you should still write this one down if you don't have it. Right? It means the same thing as un poster, right? A poster. Think of like a movie poster or a poster you have on your walls. Doesn't matter. Right? Une affiche is just an older way of saying that. Right? People used to use it a lot in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and that term sort of died down, right, as time progressed. Now people just say un poster. Right? Poster. But you can still say une affiche as well. Okay, this is key. Okay, make sure we write this down. Il, y a. That's how you say that. Those are 3 different words. Il, y a. That means there is or there are. So let's say there are posters. There are posters in the classroom. So I can see it. Posters. Il, y a. Des posters. This is key when you're trying to speak French, when you're trying to identify something, or when you're asking a question. Okay, il y a. There is. Okay, so I'm talking about a single poster, and then I would use this one. There is a poster in the classroom. Il y a un poster dans la salle de classe. Okay? So make sure you identify il y a as meaning there is or there are. Okay, and remember, whenever we try to make something plural, in most cases, we add big. Yeah, remember, even if you add the S at the end of a word in French to make it plural, oftentimes that doesn't change the pronunciation of it. Okay, so this tells us, oh yeah, we're talking about multiple posters. Right? Il y a des posters. You can also use, right, il y a, you can use it when you're trying to make a statement. There is a poster in the classroom. You can easily turn that into a question. Okay, into a question. Same thing. Il y a des posters dans la salle de classe. The only thing that changes is you add a sentence involving ilia, meaning there is or there are, into a question, you just add a question mark at the end. Okay? Once you add the question mark, right, ilia changes from there is or there are to is there or are there. So that's the key difference. Once, simply by adding the question mark, right, ilia, the meaning of it changes its meaning. Right now, it's in the question form. Okay, ilia question mark is there or are there? Right. Without a question mark, right, ilia means there is or there are. Right. For example, like in this example, right, il y a des posters dans la salle de classe. Right, the answer to the question is oui, il y a deux posters. There are two posters. Right, so make sure you recognize the difference that il y a means once you add a question mark. Right, the translation changes. Right, do we all see that? Right, for il y a, it's either il y a, no question mark, there is, there are, or il y a, question mark, then it turns into is there or are there. Right. Now, how do you say, if you want to say there isn't something, right? There are no posters. Okay. This is how you would do it. So same thing, right? The question is, if you want to say no, first of all, you use the sentence for no. Right? This means no. You don't know that. No. Il n'y a pas de poster. You see, to make it negative, to say that there were no posters, you need to add an N apostrophe to the need. No, il n'y a pas. You should be at the top in there. Good poster. No, il n'y a pas de poster. So everything that's in red here, you can see, right? This is required for you to add in there if you want to say that no, there isn't something like this. No, we don't have any of this here. Right? No, il n'y a pas de poster. Next week we'll talk a lot more about how to make negative sentences like this, how to say no, there isn't more of this. All right, we'll talk about that a lot more. Okay, so make sure you have what's written down in red. Right? You add these to your sentence if you're trying to say no. There are no posters. There isn't this thing in the classroom. You'll notice too, right, if you take a look at the sentence, in the first one it says they, right, plural. Can you see that? A poster. However, when you answer it, the they isn't there anymore, and this is singular. Whenever you say no, right, no, even if it's plural, when you say no, there are no posters, you need to make it singular. You need to take out the essence. Remember that. Whenever we want to say no about something, right, and we're talking about a plural thing, when we say no, when we answer in the no statement, we need to make it singular. What's up? Now, Sarah, going off of that, if up here it said if we're talking about a poster would then also still change to do. Okay? So even if it said a poster, and you said no, the that was up here, the UN, would still change to do. Okay? You need this. You need to have this when you're trying to make it. Doesn't matter what this is up here. You need to change it. Okay? You need to change it to put it. Okay. Now it can either be do, right, or it can be D apostrophe. What do I mean by that? Okay. Well, I just showed you this example, right, Sarah? No, you need a proof of that. Right, so just like you said, the needs to change to a do. Now, if we have, this is the key thing to remember. If we have a sentence where the did follows by a word that starts with a vowel, right? You see that? Starts with a vowel, then why? Because no, good in it doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good. So whenever there's a vowel, like this one, where we live, maybe the next word is a vowel, you need to use the B apostrophe. Then it sounds good. No, il n'y a pas d'idée. This flows better. Okay, that's the only reason, okay? Because it flows better. Okay, so remember, if the next word, like this one, starts with a vowel, you need to use the apostrophe, not good. See, this one you can use it because it's not with a vowel, right? Okay, that's the key thing. Apostrophe, whenever you think apostrophe, think the next word starts with a vowel. Okay, like a vowel. For example, on your quiz, right, I said the password was economy, right? School. If I want to say the school, right, it's not la école, right? Even though that would make sense, but to make it sound better, you take out the A and you do apostrophe, right? Because there's a vowel. Because there's a vowel there. We'll get to all those words later on. Yeah, but for this one, you're just going to say something in the negative. If the following word starts with a vowel, you need to make it in the apostrophe. You can't keep using de. Okay, you take out the D and you take out the E and you add an apostrophe. Whew. Okay, French is really complicated like that, right? Especially like I've been saying from day one, French people in the language make rules, right, that simply have to do with making things sound better. Right? Doesn't necessarily add grammatical sense. It just is there. The rule is there to make the sentence sound better. Okay, that's it. Unfortunately, that's just the way that it is. Okay. Okay, make sure you have that written down, especially what you need to do when you're trying to say something in the negative, right? Okay. Okay. Now, the textbook work that you're going to do, right, in your textbook is going to be based on these commands that we're about to learn here. Okay, these are commands. So in the classroom, for example, as a teacher, right, if Leilani is up there talking to her brother and then the bell rings, right, and she's still not in her seat, right, I would yell out to everyone, asseyez-vous, asseyez-vous. What do you think that means? Sir, sit down, right? But I'm not just talking to Leilani, I'm talking to all of you guys. Okay, so asseyez-vous, it means sit down. Sit down. Remember the textbook work you're going to do in class? There you go. Asseyez-vous. Okay? All right. The opposite, if I was trying to tell you guys to stand up, go to the back of the room. Levez. Levez-vous. Right? Levez-vous. Stand up. Stand up. Remember, they're used to potentially not pronouncing, especially if there's S or a Z. It's not the S. It's lever, lever. Okay? You want to get used to the way French letters work and the way French sounds work. Levez-vous, not levez-vous, right? Not like that. Okay? Levez-vous. Stand up. All right, this next term is a cognate, right? Ava, what does it mean? Right, yeah. Silence, be quiet. Silence. That's how you say it. Silence. Okay? Be quiet, silence. Either way. Silence. Okay? That one should be easy. Okay, if a student is getting annoying, right, and they're testing my nerves, a teacher would say, be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Luke, can you try to say that? Yeah. Okay, everyone have that? Faites attention. The next one is a little bit longer of a phrase, right? Based on the pictures and the words. Who has a guess? You're right about listening. What else? Close. Okay? Repeat. Listen and repeat after me. Listen and repeat after me. And moi. Okay? Listen and repeat after me. Écoutez et répétez après moi. Écoutez et répétez après moi. Listen and repeat after me. Écoutez et répétez after moi. Okay. So that word is écouter. Right? And then répéter after moi. Okay? There's a lot of words and functions that make the A sound. Like the different word and letter combinations A sound. Like easy, écouter, T. Right? ES, T. Right? E. Right? There's a lot of letter combinations that can make the A sound. Okay, so remember that's listen and repeat after me. Okay? What does this mean again? Sheet of paper, right? Feuille de papier, right? What do you think this command is trying to say? Prenez une feuille de papier. What do we think? Yes, yeah, grab or take out a sheet of paper. Kind of like what I told you earlier, right? Either take one of the papers or grab your own. Prenez une a sheet of paper. Okay? Prenez une feuille de papier. Remember, it sounds weird, right? But what I was telling students in my next French class is that whenever you're trying to sound French, right, you kind of have to make yourself sound like a pompous French person, right? The more you try to exaggerate that, the better you're going to sound, right? Then after a while, once you get the hang of it, you don't have to keep doing that, right? But the more you try to exaggerate French sounds, and when you speak, right, people will think you actually know a little bit of French, right? Because you're making all the sounds and tones. Leilani, what do you think this phrase means? This is good. Okay, close. Here's a picture. Kind of writing on it. Allez au tableau means go to the board. Allez, go to the board. Allez au tableau. Go to the board. Go to the board. Allez au tableau. Right? This is a very, very common practice in France, right? When you go to school there. Teachers will always tell you to go to the board, right? To write something down, to do a problem in front of everyone, and then you can be humiliated in front of everyone. Right? That was my experience at least. Right? Allez au tableau. Go to the board. Right? Joseph, what do you think this phrase means? Yeah, look at the map. Regardez la carte. Right? Again, we're talking about mostly French schools, right? Most French classrooms have at least 3 to 4 maps in them. Usually of France and of just Europe, right? But 3 or 4 different kinds. So there's a lot of maps in French classrooms. Right? So the teacher says, regardez la carte. Look at the map. Regardez means look, right? Plural. You guys all look at the map. La carte. Right? That was one of our terms already. La carte. Right? Map makers, right? The official term for them is cartographers. Right? Carte. Cartographers. Make sure you have that one written down. Ava, what do you think this phrase means? Yeah, these are all commands given based on the picture. Do you think they're saying? Yeah, go back to your seats. Like, go back to your seats. Retournez à vos places. Retournez à vos places. Go back to your seats. Remember, the teacher is speaking here. These are things to the classes. They're all in the plural form. Retournez à vos places. Go back to your seats. Go back to your seats. Retournez à vos places. Retournez à vos places. Right? Except they would probably yell it, right? Retournez à vos places. Right? Like that. My French teachers were always mean for some reason. Don't know why. Retournez à vos places. Okay. Alex, what do you think this phrase means? Yeah. Open your book to page and whatever. Open your book to page and whatever. So because it's easier to do, just write in the page number. Right? If I said open your books to page 2, I would say ouvrez vos livres à la page 2. Right? 2. page number. Ouvrez vos livres à la page 2, for example. Okay, everyone have that? Ouvrez vos livres à la page. The next one, right, we should know what this term is, right? Cahier, right? Greg, do you remember what this means? Close, right? Notebook, right? Close, notebook. Notebook. Again, these are commands usually given in a French classroom, right? The first 5 minutes, at least in my elementary school, right, and this is the stereotype they're going off of, every 5 minutes of every class period, the teacher would tell us to open your notebooks and he would say something out loud. That's how we practice grammar and spelling. Like, he would speak out loud from a sheet of paper, and then we had to write down everything she was saying, right, in French. Right? That was my French class when we were learning the mechanics and grammar of French. And then she would say this: "Fermez vos cahiers." Doesn't matter if you were done. You have to close your notebook. If you kept writing, you get a 0. Very strict. Right. What about this one? Parler. You know what that means? Speak. Parler. If we were doing good work and no one is saying anything, I would say parler. Speak. Talk to each other. Parler. Talk. Parler. What about this one? Luke? No, listen. Yeah, read, right? Take a look at the picture. Read. Lisez. Lisez. Read. And remember, all this is a teacher saying to the classroom. So it's plural. Right? Read. All of you, read. Lisez. Lisez. And then this one, écrivez, right? Obviously, write. Everyone, start writing. Écrivez. Remember, when you're writing these down, try to also add in the accents. Okay, the accents, like the one on top of the E. Okay, those are crucial, right? Those count when you're spelling the word. Because if the accent wasn't there, right, it wouldn't be écrivez, it would be crevé. Crevé, right? That's not the word for it. Right? It's écrivez, not crevé. Okay. To write, écrivez. Okay, montrez-moi. Right, this means show me. Montrez-moi. Right? If I go around and asking, show me your homework, I would say, montrez-moi. Show me. Montrez-moi. Montrez-moi. Everyone have that? Montrez-moi. Show me. Okay. To ask the teacher something. Right. What does monsieur mean again? Mr., then Mrs., and then Miss, right? Mr., Monsieur, Mrs., Madame, Miss, Mademoiselle, right? This is from your perspective, right? So if Luke has no idea what the hell is going on, right, in this class, right, this is what he would say, right? Je ne comprends pas. Right? I don't understand. Je ne comprends pas. I don't understand. Je ne comprends pas. Okay? If you're in France, someone comes up and starts to speak to you really fast and you have no idea what's going on, right? Just say this. Je ne comprends pas. Right? And then they'll say, oh, okay, you don't speak French. Right? Je ne comprends pas. I do not understand. I don't understand. Okay? Luke, can you say this out loud for us? Pas. Right? Je ne comprends. Right? That's comprends. Je ne comprends pas. Okay? Right? If I'm saying something in French, but you didn't quite hear me, you didn't quite catch it, right? This is what you would say. Can you say that again? Please? Repeat that, please. Répétez, s'il vous plaît. Répétez, repeat. S'il vous plaît. All this means please. S'il vous plaît means please. Right? S'il vous plaît literally means if it pleases you. Right? That's how French people say please. If it pleases you. Right? That's please. So repeat that, please. Right? Répétez, s'il vous plaît. And then the teacher repeats, and then you say merci. Right? Thank you. Merci. Everyone have that? Okay. Now, if you're trying to say, for example, if you're trying to say, how do you say something in French? If Joseph was wondering how do you say phone, right, in French, he would say, comment dit-on cell phone en français? All right? That's how you ask a question. Right? How do you say this in French? Comment dit-on water bottle en français? Right? That's how you try to ask that. Right? If you're traveling in France and you're trying to find a word for something, that's how you ask the question. So, for example, right, if you want to ask somebody out or you're in love with someone, you want to say I love you. Comment dit-on I love you en français? And these are just examples, right? Comment dit-on I love you en français? Je t'aime. Je t'aime. Je t'aime. Okay? Here's another example. Comment dit-on good morning en français? Right? Bonjour. Bonjour. You guys should already know that. Comment dit-on how are you en français? Ça va? I remember that we learned a lot of different ways to say that. Comment ça va? Ça va? Ça va bien? Comment dit-on how are you? Comment dit-on hi en français? Right? Salut. Right, you guys remember that term? Salut. Right? Salut. Okay. Now, this is the last one we'll do, then you're going to do the textbook. Right? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Right? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? What does that mean? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? What does that mean? You say something, you know what it means, you say this. Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? All right, what does that mean? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Okay, once you have this down, by yourself or with a partner, right? However you want. And maybe working apart with a partner suits you better, right? You can bounce ideas, you can help each other out. You're going to do 2 textbook activities. Show you where they are. Make sure you have that written down. On page 20 in your textbook, right, you're going to do activity number 31, right? This is the first one right here, number 31, right? Match each sentence below with the correct photo. Okay, you're going to do that. And then you're also going to do 32, right? This one up here at the top. Okay, select the correct completion for each sentence. Right? So you don't number 31 and 32 in the textbook. Let's make sure we do that. That's due at 3, right? So you have to finish it, right, in class. If you need to use the bathroom right now, like, right, take your break right now. Oh, perfect. Yeah, just chill for a little bit, okay? Number 31 and 32. Okay. You can either do it on your iPad and turn it in, right, or do it on paper, right? Take a picture of it and turn it in, or do it on paper and turn it into me in a hard copy. However you want to do that. Up to you. And everyone should have access to the textbook, right?